G'day there guys, not the funniest Australian here, but definitely not the most unbearable, right? Back at it again with another episode of r/am I the a-hole. Now if you love today's content, please do give it a thumbs up, sit back, relax, and tell me what you think about all these stories down in the comments below. Posted by user Tradition Impressive 2. Titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to sell the place I bought with stripper money? For several years I was a stripper. I have no shame about what I did, and only quit when I got a better job offer. In the time I worked as a stripper, I intentionally lived as cheaply as possible. Crappy little studio flats, living off ramen, wearing old clothes because my co-workers all told me they were able to buy their own places on their income, so long as they saved like crazy. Before I retired, I managed to outright buy myself a 3-bedroom flat. I rented out the other rooms for a while, but I got sick of having roommates, so now I have them up online for shorter stays, but not to rent. I met this guy about 18 months ago, and we've been together since. He knows about my employment history, and he said that he had no issue with it, though he did ask me to tell his family the white lie occasionally that I use on my CV and stuff, which is that I was a waitress, which I kind of was, to be fair. A month ago, we found out that I'm 2 months pregnant. He says this is great news, and we should move in together. I assume he'd be moving into my place because he rents his far smaller, 1-bedroom flat while I own mine, and I have room for a baby's room while he doesn't. Also, I really don't want to leave my flat. It's my flat, I love it, and I could see myself living here for the rest of my life. And I don't want to lose that security of owning a flat and have to go back to paying rent or a mortgage each month. However, he then said that he didn't want to move into my place and said I should sell it and we buy a place together. I said that I like my place. It means a lot to me that I was able to buy it, and it represents years of working my ass off, scrimping and saving. He then said that he understands all of that, but we should be living together by the time the baby comes, and he didn't want to live in my flat. I asked him why not. It's a great flat. It's central to everything, it's spacious, it's got room for all his stuff, there's a daycare in the building, run and owned by another tenant, and a school 5 minutes walk away. The list goes on, and he said that he didn't want to live in a flat that was bought with stripper money. That really ticked me off. And I told him no fudging way am I selling my flat, and that he never had an issue with stripper money paying for this flat before now. I said I wasn't giving up the security of owning a home for someone who tries to make me feel ashamed about something I don't feel ashamed of. He said that his point is if I sold the flat, then we could get a new place with the money from the sale. I said, wouldn't that still be stripper money? And he said, oh, that's different. And I asked how. He then said he was going back to his place because I can't talk to you when you're in this state. He's gone back to his flat now and has texted me saying that I'm overreacting and irrational and I need to think of this realistically rather than emotionally. He says he wouldn't feel right raising a child in my flat, knowing how I purchased it, and selling and moving is the best idea of all of us. Not to mention the fact that he isn't on the deed because it's my place, and it would never feel like our place because of this. I feel like I might be the ass, because I get why he might feel like it's just my place, and I feel like I'm being too rigid in a time that we need to work together. Plus, I spoke to my sister, and she sided with him, so 2 out of 3 people think I'm in the wrong here. Am I the a-hole? Why is your sister siding with him? This man's dumb. What's his problem? Stripper money, how long ago? Why does it matter anymore? Money is money in this instance, love. Beggars cannot be choosers. I don't really have any words for this man. My brain is exploding in my head. You are so obviously not the a-hole. He's renting a small 1-bedroom flat, and he's judging you for owning a spacious 3-bedroom apartment just because it's stripper money? I just can't. Not the a-hole. I can't talk to you when you're in this state, saying I'm overreacting and irrational, and I need to think of this realistically rather than emotionally. Not the a-hole, this is classic gaslighting behavior. He also wants to co-own with you at only 18 months into the relationship? Hell no. co-own a house she pays for with money from the home that she earned with no contribution for him, I might add. He's just taking advantage of her for a free house. Exactly. If they got married, she would likely keep the house in the case of divorce, as it's in her name and predates the relationship. If she bought a new house with the boyfriend on the deed, she would have to split it evenly. Think very hard before having a baby with this loser. Seems too late, unfortunately. Not 100% on pregnancy, but 2 months isn't necessarily too late to abort, right? That's not to say that she has to give up on her kid. They're not the problem here. She owns a flat, meaning that she only pays utilities. She has her own job, and as she mentioned, daycare and school is close by. It sounds to me like she could easily support her kid without the douche, even if they didn't co-parent. She'll likely end up with child support. I'm going to say not the a-hole OP. Keep your flat, you've earned it. Posted by user Protect the Hell. Titled, Am I the a-hole for not paying for the pizza I ordered? My wife and I haven't been comfortable going out to eat in public due to the pandemic, but we really wanted some specialty pizza last night. So I looked up Italian places around me so I could order for pickup, and I found this place that had great reviews. Ordered a large pizza and breadsticks that came up to $35. I put a regular shirt and sweatpants on to pick it up. When I go to the parking lot, I thought this Italian restaurant and bar looked pretty fancy, even from the outside. There was a big guy standing in front of it, so I was a bit nervous, but what the hell? I'm just here to pick up my food. As I was walking into the restaurant, said guy stopped me and told me no sweatpants. I told him I'm just there to pick up my orders. He kept insisting that I come back with better clothes because after 6 p.m., dinner hours, there is a dress code. I was pretty upset, so I told him, if you make me leave, I'm not coming back. He said, suit yourself. So I left, and I told my wife the devastating news and got fast food instead. Fast forward to this morning. The owner of the restaurant called me back. They asked for name and phone number when I ordered, demanding that I come there today to pay them for my order last night. I explained to him what happened, so it doesn't seem like I go around making bogus orders to mess with people. This guy tells me yes, but you can pick it up now while we don't have the dress code. I asked him if he's going to remake it for me, and he said he will, but I'll have to pay for last night's order and the remade order. I told him that's not going to happen and hung up. He kept calling, but I stopped answering. He left a pretty nasty voicemail, but our appetite for pizza's been gone, and it's Monday morning. I have other things to be angry about. What do you guys think? I think this is a too bad so sad situation that there's a dress code for a pizza restaurant ordering takeout that you can come in and get. I mean, the security guard at the front should have had some common sense about him and thought, oh, maybe I'm the bad guy. Maybe I should let them in. That would be an appropriate thing to do. But no. Then this happens, and the restaurant owner should be the bigger man and understand, hey, I need to change. But he's not, and he's demanding that OP double pay just to get the same pizza. No, not the a-hole. Screw that guy. Edit. Thank you guys for the reassurance. For the ones asking, I'm in Virginia, and in my experience, I've always paid when I pick up. Also, I don't have a Yelp account, but I may just make one and leave a review for future pickup customers, as most of you suggested. Second edit. I went back to their website to see if there's any mention of dress code that I might have missed. Nope, nowhere did it say it. The website actually makes the restaurant seem like a local pizzeria and not a fancy restaurant. Also, I thought Virginia was already specific, but it's in North Chesterfield for the people who are in the other areas who are afraid to go to pizza shops in sweatpants now. Not the a-hole. That's stupid. If it was such a big deal, they could have brought you out the order. I wouldn't have paid either. Yeah, who the hell do they think they are? That is such an unreasonable suggestion to make, even more so for just picking up the damn pizza and breadsticks. Not the a-hole. Exactly. OP came to pick up his pizza, which they wouldn't let him do. As far as he's concerned, they should go stuff themselves. Also, if it's such a big deal, tell customers on the phone and website they need to wear their goddamn slacks to come pick up their pizza. Jesus. If I need to wear a cocktail dress and heels to pick up an order of pizza from the best restaurant in town, then I don't want pizza from there. I would rather go to Domino's or Pizza Hut or Chicago Pizza, where they don't care what I look like, because if I'm paying, then they're happy. Posted by user Am I the A-hole throw wedding? Titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to talk to my mum after she gave my stepsister my wedding fund? My stepsister was going to get married this summer, but due to the pandemic, she had to postpone. Unfortunately, she ended up losing a lot of her deposits, and now her budget is less than half of what it used to be. She also has to buy a new dress and bridesmaids outfits because she's now decided to have a winter wedding instead. I am also engaged, but we're still in the early stages of planning and recently decided to try to figure out what our potential budget would look like. My mum and stepdad have saved wedding funds for each of us, which are $10,000 each. This is money we've always known we'd receive for our weddings, and my siblings have already all received theirs. I was FaceTiming my mum, and she asked me about the wedding planning, and I mentioned that my fiancé and I had opened a separate bank account for our wedding funds. I asked her if she could directly transfer the wedding fund into it when she was free, and she started acting weird and avoided the question and changed the subject. I got upset and asked her again, and she told me that they couldn't help with the wedding. I asked her what she meant, and she admitted that my stepdad had given the money to my stepsister. I asked her why he would do that, and she mentioned how my stepsister had lost so much of her original budget due to the pandemic, and she would have to dramatically downsize her wedding. She came to them and begged them to have my wedding fund, and my stepdad agreed, as my stepsister and her fiancé both work low-paying jobs and wouldn't be able to save the money up for themselves in time. My stepdad's justification is that my fiancé comes from a filthy rich, his words, family, and that his family could make up the difference for what they would no longer be contributing. Apparently, he made a nasty joke about how fiancé's dad was going to throw money at our wedding anyways, and that maybe they should ask him to pay for stepsisters too. I was upset, and so I ended the call. My mum has been calling me non-stop since, and has even asked my other sisters to call me and tell me to answer her calls. When I told my sister what happened, she was angry, but not surprised, because my stepdad has done similar things in the past, e.g., given part of my college fund to this same stepsister because she wasted her monthly allowance partying. My mum and stepdad have also sent me texts telling me that I have no right to be upset over what they chose to do with their money. My stepdad even said that since I'm so petty, he's glad he never gave me a cent for my wedding. The more I calm down, I'm starting to wonder if I'm being a childish a-hole. It's not like I've booked anything yet and will have to change plans. My dad also contributed to my sister's wedding, and I'm sure he'll offer to do the same for me. But then the other part of me wonders, if it had been my stepbrother's wedding fund, would my stepdad be so quick to give it to my stepsister? Am I the a-hole? I can't find a reason that you would be an a-hole for this one. I can see the pettiness definitely having aspects of someone that could be an a-hole, but given this situation, it's fair that you stop talking to them for a bit and detach yourself from them attacking you. That stepdad sounds like he has so many screws loose in his head. You know what? Any money that we can give to you is fair game to give to my kids, because screw you. You don't need that fund, you're just jealous, you've got a filthy rich fiancé, blah 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 blah, his family is everything, I hate you. How is the mum so blind to this? How is your mum so cool with him doing all of this and then taking his side? I don't understand it, and I wouldn't want to be in your same shoes. Not the a-hole. It sucks that your sister's wedding didn't work out as planned, but it's not fair to punish you to make it even. You were promised $10,000 towards your wedding, and the gift is being stolen from you in the same way your college fund was stolen. She doesn't have to buy her new dresses. She could wait until next summer, or ask her wedding party to find a mutual color in their closets. She's wasting money that she shouldn't have in the first place. I would tell them that since stepsister's wedding is so important. Clearly, it's the only one they need to attend, and since stepfather has apparently been doing crap like this the entire time, he can F off. Go no contact with him, same for his spawn. Your mother is in a difficult position, but she made her choice. Tell her that you won't cut her out completely, but it's going to take a lot of work on her part to get back to even a cordial relationship, and if she's not willing to put in the work, she can just be happy with the people she's abandoned you for. Her mother has honestly failed greatly by allowing her husband to constantly put his daughters above hers. What a shame. Not only did Mum allow it, she has no problem telling OP about it too. Why would you do that? Why tell your child the horrible things her stepdad has said about her? Yeah, like, okay, giving $10,000 to your less fortunate stepdaughter because you're pretty sure your bio daughter will be able to sort out her finances. Still crappy, but I get that some people would do that. Telling OP her stepdad said, lol, OP doesn't need cash. While she's at it, maybe we can get her fiance's daddy to pay for my daughter's wedding too. Is, well, okay then, you know? In some way, I would appreciate knowing, because it'll make that much easier to kick him and the stepsister to the curb. Posted by user Lascara28. Titled, Am I the a-hole for taking away my son's internet access every Sunday that he doesn't go to church? I'm a Catholic and have tried to raise my kids in the faith, but my 16-year-old son told me a few years back that he was an atheist and would not be attending church. I told him that was fine and I would still love him anyways. But because we're a Catholic family that goes to church and believes in God, that every Sunday he doesn't attend, I'd disable his internet access for the day, and he was to read the book called The Case for Christ, because Lee Strobel is an award-winning author who effectively demonstrates that Christianity is true. Because that is what we do as a family, and if he doesn't want to participate, then he shouldn't expect free reign of the internet. For the past 3 years, he's tried challenging me on it, but I always told him that I want him to make an informed decision before he decides to throw religion off entirely. And that even if he paid for his computer, it uses electricity and internet that I pay for. So yes, I can turn off the internet or shut off the breaker. And he'd best be served to come to church, because not only will the internet be off for him, but it will be off for his siblings too, and he can deal with the fallout of that. And any subversion would mean no internet for a week, and that I have every right to punish my children as I see fit. There is plenty of truth and evidence for religion, such as the watchmaker analogy, question of where matter came from, how the universe could arise from nothing, plus the countless documented miracles of various saints that science cannot explain. And if I was an atheist, then I guess there's no reason why I should parent my children. What? Yesterday was pretty bad. My son didn't go to church, and so I cut off the internet. But I found him back on it. He did something called Mac spoofing. When I told him to get off, and he was grounded for a week, he said, access to the internet is a human right as declared by the UN, and anyone who violates that is in violation of international law. I don't believe that one bit. So I lost it, and I just yelled for him to listen up. This is my house, and he will abide by my rules. That UN crap doesn't apply. But then he started to challenge me and said he had no choice but to live here, he didn't ask to be born, but that's exactly my point. And he needs to shut up and comply by my house rules. If anything, he should be grateful he's not living in China or North Korea, where he would be executed for what he's doing. He then said for me to listen carefully, and that if I kept doing what I was doing, he would sever all contact when he lives out, not invite us to his graduation or wedding, never allow his kids near us, and throw us in a nursing home until we die. Our choice, and slam the door in my face. He hasn't spoken to me since yesterday. If he wants to cut me off, then fine. No college funding for him, no computer engineering degree for him. Wow, OP. Yeah, you're the a-hole. This is just 101 abusive parenting. Oh my god. I just think you need to get some help. I don't know why you're so strict on the religion aspect, Kind of feels like you're trolling me here, but I'll take the bait. This is terrible parenting. Please get some help. You're the a-hole. Edit. I am temporarily banned, so I can't respond to any of the comments, but I took the time to read them, and after doing so, I've begun to question everything. My faith, family, and how I go about things. And now I feel quite terrible for all that I've done. I really shouldn't have done what I did, and feel there's a hell of a lot that I have to do to make up everything to my son. I don't expect him to ever forgive me, or even talk to me once he leaves. And I deserve it because what I did was wrong. You're the a-hole. He'll find another way to pay for college. You won't find another way to replace your child. By the way, Lee Strobel is a complete hack, and that book isn't legitimate scholarship. I just want to change up from horror stories of Catholic upbringing that turned people away from their parents and their religion to add a positive example for OP. I have been agnostic most of my life, but I was raised in a devout Catholic family. My mother would go to daily mass until her work did not allow for it, and half my family works in the church. But religion was never pushed on me. It was never shoved down my throat. I went to church every Sunday growing up, but every Saturday night my mother would ask me if I wanted to go to church with her in the morning. No punishment if I said no. She knew I needed to find my own way to the church if I wanted it. Someone who is forced to believe in a religion is not a true believer. And why would you want that to be the basis of your religion? Everyone needs to go on their own spiritual journeys to determine what is right for them. And guess what? I'm 25 years old, and while I'm still agnostic, I believe deeply in the true and loving teachings of Catholicism, and every single time my mother asks me if I'd like to go to church with her, I always say yes. You're the a-hole, OP, and you are ruining your chances of actually building a relationship with your child, as well as any chance that your child will ever be open to a relationship with God. Screw you for being the reason Catholicism is given a bad name, and screw you for hurting your child like this. You're the a-hole. If I was an atheist, then I guess there's no reason why I should parent my children. Holy hell, are you insane? Do you not know about the hundreds of millions of godless parents in the world? I'm glad your son plans on cutting you out of his life, and I don't blame him at all. That was exactly what I did to my parents the moment I could, for reasons not too different from yours, and I don't regret it one bit. I'm a godless parent whose kid was allowed to make his own choice. He also chose atheism, which I'm glad for, but would have accepted whatever he chose. I wonder why OP thinks atheists aren't good parents. In the words of Penn Jillette, the question I get asked by religious people all the time is, without God, what's to stop me from something all I want? And my answer is, I do that all I want. And the amount I want is 0. And I do murder all I want. And the amount I want is 0. The fact these people think that if they didn't have this person watching over them, that they would go on killing R-word rampages is the most self-damning thing I can imagine. I don't want to do that. Right now, without any God, I don't want to jump across this table and strangle you. I have no desire to strangle you. I have no desire to flip you over and take advantage of you. You know what I mean? I am so proud of your son for standing up to your vile religious indoctrination, and I say that as a practicing Catholic. You, on the other hand, are what gives us a bad name. You're a controlling, ignorant fanatic who's more concerned with perception than reality. You are going to lose your son. Scholarships exist. Loans exist. It sounds like he plans to go into a lucrative field. If he's spelling it out for you now, then he'll find a way to his education. Jesus wept, you're the a-hole. And since religion is this important to you, enjoy your crossed post to Am I the Devil? Maybe that's a new subreddit we gotta check out. Alright guys, that's where I'm going to end today's video. I really do hope you enjoyed it, and maybe even learned something that you didn't know before. If you haven't already, please do feel free to click that like button, as it really does help me in the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't already and you love today's video, please feel free to subscribe. I would love it a lot. Also, big shout out to all my Patreon members and channel subscribers. You guys are all up on the screen right now. I love you. I love your faces. Also, I love seeing you guys all chatting down below in the comments. It brightens my day to see the stories that you guys share and just the kind words you guys always have for my videos, as well as everyone else in the videos. I love you too. But honestly, your ongoing support means the world to me, and I just love it so much that you guys are able to support a career for myself that I invest so much time into. And you guys honestly motivate me to work harder each and every day to put more love into the videos for you guys. If you guys have watched this far in the video and you haven't already subscribed on Patreon or become a channel member, that's cool, you don't have to, but there are links down below. You can donate any amount of money, pledge that any month, cancel whenever. I'm completely cool with it. It's just there for you to support me if you'd like to go the extra mile. And I'll go the extra mile for you guys by putting out new amazing content every single day. With that said, guys, I really hope you have a good day, night, sleep, bath, time at work, whatever you're up to today. This has been Markee. I'll see you in the next amazing video. Bye.